Ridge Observatory stays open above a dark valley. The dome slit is already set to one narrow angle. A single lamp glows beside the console. Nothing is scheduled to move. The air feels thin and dry. Metal holds a quiet cold. The words can stay in the background. The telescope stands centered under the curved ceiling. Lock pins remain seated in their holes. No motor engages. No gear turns. A counterweight bar rests in perfect balance. Its marks remain aligned. Nothing drifts. Along the wall, control panels glow in dim blocks. Numbers hold steady on small screens. No cursor moves. No message appears. A radio unit remains silent. No crackle. No test tone. Outside the slit, stars hold their positions. No cloud crosses the opening. No aircraft light passes through. The valley below stays unlit. No road light rises along the ridge. Distance remains unchanged. A ventilation grill releases a slow loop of air. Not louder, not softer, even against the dome skin. A faint tick comes once from the paneling. Cold, settling metal. Then stillness returns. A narrow walkway circles the upper ring. Handrails remain untouched. No step crosses the grate. A latch plate near the slit mechanism stays down. Paint marks remain matched. No adjustment begins. On the desk, a logbook lies open to a blank line. A pencil rests parallel to the page edge. No new entry is needed. A small clock above the shelf moves its hands. You do not follow it. The room does not respond. The telescope tube remains aimed at the same patch of sky. No tracking starts. No correction cycle begins. A thin reflection from the lamp rests on the housing. It does not brighten. It does not fade. Beyond the dome, the ridge holds steady. Trees remain still. No wind bends their tops. The sky stays clear. Stars remain precise. Nothing interrupts the view. A status light on the mount stays green. It does not blink faster. It does not change color. A sealed cabinet of spare parts remains closed. Tags hang straight. No latch shifts. The observatory remains quiet in its own routine. Light, air, fixed angles. Your shoulders drop slightly. Hands rest without tension. The bench feels firm and cool. A soft relay click sounds from the power rack. One click, then nothing. No other sound follows it. The fans keep their constant tone. The slit continues to frame the same narrow field. Edges remain sharp. No panel rotates. Outside, the valley stays dark and complete. Inside, the lamp keeps its steady circle. Nothing needs attention now. The heater under the console cycles once. A small change in airflow. Then the same baseline returns. The temperature remains even. The glass stays clear. No condensation forms at the rim. A cable run beneath the desk remains clipped in tidy spacing. No line pulls tight. No connector shifts. A warning label near the main switch remains readable. The cover stays closed. No hand reaches for it. The night continues without a cue. The telescope remains fixed. The dome remains open. The ridge remains silent above the valley, and the observatory keeps holding the sky in place, quiet and unchanged, until the next hour arrives without being noticed. A star chart lies folded beside the logbook. Corners remain flat. No page turns. A plastic sleeve holds calibration notes. The sleeve stays clear. No finger traces the lines. Near the dome motor housing, a brake light stays off. No rotation command is active. A small service switch remains covered. Bolts around the housing remain tight. No vibration reaches the panel seam. A dew heater strip runs along the lower edge of the slit. It holds a gentle warmth. It does not change level. The metal rim stays dry. The glass stays clean. Outside, a small weather mast stands on the roofline. Its wind cups barely move. A temperature probe light blinks once, then holds. No gust pushes the ridge. No new sound reaches the dome. A thin cable loop hangs behind the console. Its tie wraps keep the spacing. No connector loosens. A spare fuse pack rests in a labeled slot. The label remains readable. The slot remains full. The bench remains where it was set. The floor remains firm beneath it. The air keeps its steady loop through the vent. Nothing needs to be restarted. Nothing needs to be improved. The system is already stable. A soft step of your own movement fades quickly. Then the room returns to its baseline. Light stays even. Fans stay constant. The dome remains open to the same narrow sky. A small lens cap sits on the tray. It stays centered. No hand lifts it. Everything remains ready without action. A red headlamp rests on a hook by the door. Its strap remains still. No switch is touched. The door seal line stays clean. No draft enters from the stairwell. The handle does not turn. The slit remains fixed at the same narrow angle. No motor engages behind the dome skin. No gear teeth move. The brake stays set. The telescope holds its aim without correction. The mount status stays green. No tracking cycle begins. A faint reflection from the console lamp rests on the tube, then disappears as you shift slightly. Along the curved wall, screens keep their dim blocks. Digits stay steady. No new line appears. The radio remains silent. No static breaks through. A small cooling fan in the power rack keeps its constant tone. It does not surge. It does not fade. It stays level against the quiet air. Outside the opening, the star field remains unchanged. No aircraft light crosses the slit. No cloud edge drifts through. The valley below stays black and still. On the desk, the pencil remains where it was set. The logbook line stays blank. No page turns. The clock hand advances without sound. A soft contraction comes from the dome rim. One brief tick, then nothing. The panel seam remains tight. The upper ring walkway remains empty. Handrails stay cold. No step touches the grate. A safety label near the motor housing remains readable, undisturbed by any movement. Near the slit edge, the dew heater strip holds its gentle warmth. The rim stays dry. No moisture gathers on the glass. The air inside remains thin and even. You stand for a moment near the console. The floor feels firm under your boots. Your shoulders settle. Nothing asks to be checked again. A cable run beneath the desk remains clipped in tidy spacing. No connector shifts. No plug loosens. The service switch cover stays down. Outside, the ridgeline remains sharp against the sky. Trees do not sway. No wind presses against the dome. The weather mast light holds its quiet blink pattern, then pauses again. A spare fuse pack remains in its labeled slot. The slot stays full. The label stays clear. A lens cap remains centered on its tray. No hand reaches for it. The telescope remains centered under the curve. Counterweight marks remain aligned. No drift appears in the balance. The instrument stays ready without action. A faint relay click comes once from the rack. Then the steady fan tone resumes. No other sound follows it. The room returns to its baseline. The slit continues to frame the same stars. The lamp keeps its small circle beside the console. The valley remains dark below the ridge. Everything stays quiet and unchanged through the next slow stretch of night. A folded star chart remains beside the calibration sleeve. Corners stay flat. The printed grid remains sharp under the dim light. No finger traces the lines. In the corner, a small cabinet door shows a numbered seal. The seal remains intact. No latch shifts. A tag hangs straight from the handle, its string unmoving. The door to the stairwell remains closed. Its gasket line stays clean. No draft slips under the threshold. The headlamp on its hook remains off. Its strap does not sway. A narrow vent above the door releases a slow, steady stream. It does not change temperature. It does not change speed. Air moves, then returns through the lower grill, quietly. Outside the slit, one star brightens only as your eyes adjust. It does not move. It does not signal anything. It simply remains present in the frame. The view stays calm. A small indicator near the mount shows a fixed value. No increment, no drop. The calibration sticker beside it remains readable, edges flat, no peeling. The console surface remains clear. A single key rests in a labeled tray. The key does not turn. The tray does not slide. A thin rubber mat under the tools stays flat. No tool rolls. A light on the weather mast blinks once more, then holds. No gust follows. The ridge remains quiet and the dome remains steady at this angle. The clock hand moves. You do not follow it. The telescope does not adjust. The room continues until the next minute settles.